Good afternoon, my name is Niko House, host of the political radio show Mi Casa es Su Casa, and I urge you all to join our One Follow $1 campaign, where we show the establishment media and those who claim to be independent on the left and the right, who refuse to cover the real stories, that we will support those who will bring us the real stories. We have a goal of 1,000 by the end of July. We are much more than halfway there. Thank you all. Thank you for those of you who have already donated. Today, I would like to just really express my disgust for those who claim to be independent media, those who claim to be truth tellers, those who have gotten famous by riding the wave of complaining, not holding people accountable, not actually doing their job and reporting the truth, but complaining. Those like TYT Politics, David Pakman, and a few others. There has been 2 historic murders. The murder of Peter Smith, who was investigating into the Clinton Foundation, had a 20-year plus long history of investigating the Clintons, died in a hotel room with helium asphyxiation when we were told at first that there was no cause of death. Then it was only natural causes. And now they're telling us he dragged a helium tank into his hotel room. Okay. Then we have Klaus Eberveen, who was going to testify against the Clintons in front of an ethics and corruption committee in Haiti in regards to mismanagement of funds from Venezuela into Haiti. And he dies days before testifying. And instead, we keep hearing about Russia. We keep hearing about an impeachment that's not going to happen. And we keep hearing about healthcare, and that's important. We should keep focusing on that. But even with healthcare, they're not even talking about the fact that the Democrats, although they're resisting this Trump care, which isn't even really Trump care, it's more so the Republicans are just writing something and Trump may or may not co-sign on it. But they're not even talking about implementing anything to replace Trump care or to prevent the repeal of Obamacare, because they keep saying we should repair it. They're not even talking about what they're going to do to repair it, even if this Trump care was to fail. But we're talking about all of these things, and there are literally bodies dropping that in any other scenario, once again, if this was a mafia, for example, and someone was going to court to testify against the mob, and that witness came up missing, that would officially be considered a huge deal. This isn't the first time this has happened. As you all remember, there was a gentleman, the ambassador, who dropped a weight on his neck and committed suicide that way. I mean, the bodies are dropping and no one is investigating, and the Fourth Estate is not doing its job. It's already bad enough that CNN, MSNBC, and others, Washington Post included, are touting this nonsense for ratings. But it becomes even worse when those people who have categorized themselves as productive and accountable independent journalists throughout the Bernie Sanders era, and kind of transitioned into they've become CNN and MSNBC light, and that is exactly why TYT Politics, TYT itself, Chank, and all of them, David Pakman, everybody who was in that little bubble of having hundreds of thousands of followers and subscribers on on Twitter and on YouTube, have now just went for the ratings. They have the absolute gall to insult like CNN and MSNBC like they're different. They're not any different. What they do when they silence these stories is they delegitimize them. They put them in this category as if they are only respective to the alt-right's positions, when that is in fact not the case at all. These stories are important to progressives. These stories are being listened to by progressives. The DNC fraud suit was started by progressives, is being fought for by progressives, and yet they are trying to pretend it is some alt-right conspiracy theory that they're just disgruntled Bernie supporters. No, There is legitimate retribution to be had in the DNC fraud suit case. There is a legitimate investigation that is needed in the case of Peter Smith, in the case of Seth Rich, in the case of Klaus Eberwein, in the case of Sean Lucas, our process server for the DNC fraud suit, who was killed, and yet we can still not receive we still have not received an autopsy about his death. These people are dropping like flies, and they're only connected. I mean, their main connection is to two people, both named Clinton. Whether or not they did it, it's not even about whether or not Clinton did it. It's about having a definitive answer. And people that are considering themselves independent, considering themselves truth tellers, that are staying on the left, only talking about things that make the left comfortable, the establishment left comfortable, choosing safe, politically safe topics in regards to what they will and won't cover. It's easy to cover Flint. It's easy to talk about Trump. Trump is an idiot. It's really easy to talk about his incompetent staff. His staff, he probably should have did a better job picking them. It's easy to talk about these things. But why won't you talk about the fact that someone who was supposed to testify against the Clinton Foundation, who was a former government official of Haiti, dealt with economic development, openly said that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are criminals, they're thieves, they're corrupt, he dies right before he testifies. But we're supposed to be the fourth estate. We're supposed to be holding these people accountable, and all y'all care about is ratings. All you all care about is how can I get the next popping story out before my other lukewarm neoliberal rival gets it out. How do I be out CNN? What exactly is going to happen when we can't hold these politicians, and we can't hold them accountable, we can't find any reconciliation for the deaths of these people who very clearly were invested in the same goal, which is revealing corruption? And it's weird how people whose goal are to reveal corruption always seem to come up dead, especially when it's regards to two people. These should be reported on. This should be documented, and we should be talking about this daily. Millions of people should be talking about this, not just a couple of 100,000, millions. Because specifically, the story about Eberwein, who's supposed to testify, is massive, and none of you are covering it. It's disgusting. I mean, it's disgusting from the perspective of a fellow journalist, if that's what you would like to call yourselves. It's also disgusting from a person who is concerned about actually seeing this country move forward, not just reporting on the Titanic going down. Thank you all so much for watching. I urge you all to join our One Follow $1 campaign, and always remember, find your balance. Peace.